Hi, Jennifer from Scrapping Under the Influence. Today we are going to be making a Lego Ninjago shirt, actually 3 of them, for my son and my nephews. The younger of the nephews is turning 6 next week, and I'm making everything for his birthday party. And I had t-shirts left from the rocket shirts that I made the other day. Initially I was going to do them in colors to match their rockets, but then I was going to have to fuss around with my design a little bit much and buy 15 different colors of HTV, and I decided those shirts would be gray. I would use the colored ones for something else. And what I decided to do was take my little Lego Ninjago eyes that are actually going to go on some of the other elements in the birthday party and cut those out of HTV and attach those to those extra shirts. What I'm using here is primarily just some scraps of HTV, some black scraps, white, and then some yellow from another project a while back, and the Cricut Maker, and of course the Cricut Easy Press to make these shirts. So let's get started. Okay, first I have my design laid out here on Design Space. I'm using the iPad. The design is 8 inches wide, which is about what I need for these shirts. I'm going to go ahead and click Make It, Replace. And then I need to make 3 of these. So I'm going to change my project copies. And then what I'm going to do here, because I've got these 2 kind of odd-shaped side pieces of the black HTV, I'm going to, where's my other one? There it is. I'm going to measure these and make sure I've got enough space. So they're 6 inches wide, about 4 inches high, and 6.5 by 3.5. So I'm going to take one set of eyes, I'm going to move it down to the bottom of the mat. So the first 2 will cut on the bigger piece, the other one will cut on the smaller piece. And then also, just so I don't have to cut more than one mat, these are really tiny, so it's giving me fits here. No, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to, so when you're moving stuff from one mat to another, what it likes to do is when you click in this little radio button up here to move your item to another mat, it's going to move it to the other mat in the exact same position it is on the original mat. So these are sitting right around the 6-inch mark. When they're tiny, move them to this other mat, it's going to put them in that same place roughly. And actually, my piece of white is small enough, that's not going to be a problem, so we're actually going to just leave these kind of right where they are. And I do this with paper crafts as well, just to either make the most use of the paper if I'm using, you know, a pattern paper or something that I don't have a whole bunch of that I, you know, want to kind of conserve it or something. And really, I do that with even like the solid colored cardstock, just because, you know, why waste the paper if you don't have to? For crying out loud. So I do this a lot. It's a good trick, you know, especially where we've got, you know, several not really large elements here that, you know, this way we're only cutting 2 mats instead of 3, because we've got small elements that we can put onto one mat and cut them that way. Okay, so let's get the HTV onto the mat. Now, because of the way I've moved those designs, oops. And of course, don't forget, HTV goes face down on your mat. shiny side down, that is, not face down, shiny side down on your mat. Help if I turn the Cricut on so it can find it, huh? And the other thing to remember too when working with HTV is you want to click this mirror for iron on. So what that does is it just flips your design, which this one is symmetrical so you can't really tell. You know, same thing with the eyes, it really wouldn't matter, but if I had any kind of text in here, that's how you get it to cut right, so that when you flip this over after you've weeded it and that shiny side is up, that your text is going in the right direction. And that's between 5 and 6, okay. All right, so get this all down, find our device. Again, putting it on upside down. It's not liking my machine today. I don't know if any of you have had this issue, but sometimes, and it really only seems to happen to me with the iPad. It doesn't ever happen when I'm using my laptop. But with the iPad, it tends to not always like the Bluetooth and wants to not find it. Not sure why. But it does get kind of irritating at times. Alright, so as soon as this gives me the other menu, okay. So for right now, it's trying to find the, there we go, we're going to set that to iron on. And here we go. All right, so got our pieces cut. I've got one of them weeded. I didn't really think I was going to need the bright pad for this, but I do kind of, just so I can see where that last mask ends, so I can trim around this. I totally need to go get some more of this because this is just about the perfect color for those little Lego faces. And I've got a whole bunch of headbands to make for the birthday party. We're doing, he wanted Lego Ninjago. So I'm doing, you know, a little banner. We decided we're not actually doing birthday treats because really, I mean, like treat bags or anything. Because truly, do kids really need them? Do they? No, not really. So we're not doing treat bags, but I'm going to do a banner. We've got some decorations figured out using just some paper Chinese lanterns and then the little Ninjago eyes. And then we're going to do, for one of the games, we're going to do a Lego Ninjago obstacle course. And I mean, nothing, you know, too hard. I mean, these are kindergartners after all. But at the end of their obstacle course, they'll get their, you know, official Ninjago training, you know, Ninjago headband thing. So I've actually got to go this week and get the supplies for that because this birthday party is next Thursday. So I need to get moving on that piece of it because that's going to take me a little bit longer than, you know, the banner and the other little decorations. I also came up with a pin the mask on the Ninja, which is why this one, initially, I had to stop recording and start over because my design was actually in there as a print and cut, and I didn't realize I'd copied the print and cut over to a separate file so I could mess with it for the shirts, and that's because of our pin the mask on the Ninja instead of pin the tail on the donkey that we're doing. And then we're just doing like a fortune cookie, like ring toss type game. So nothing too exciting. The one that I'm trying to come up with something for that's a couple of weeks after this one is the other nephew will be turning 8, and he wants Mario Brothers for his party, and my sister and I are both just at a complete loss as to what to even do for that one. So I mean, we'll come up with something eventually. I just have no idea what. I'm just completely stumped on that, and really haven't even found anything on Pinterest that's not going to be, you know, hours and hours of preparation for the kids to just kind of, you know, go, whatever. Because that happens sometimes. That was kind of last year. We did Pete the Cat. Well, not just Pete the Cat. We did like this cat themed thing. And we did this this relay game that I remember from like Bible school when I was a kid and always really loved, and the kids just looked at us like we were nuts. So yeah, learned my lesson there. So we're just trying to keep with, you know, something fairly simple. The obstacle course I couldn't resist. It was too cute. I mean, it basically involves a play tunnel and, you know, little kiddie slide, like toddler slide that I have outside. And then we're doing like this balloon forest that they have to get through the balloon forest without touching any of the balloons. And when I say balloon forest, we're talking literally like maybe, I don't know, 8 or 10 balloons. But they'll be really close together. So, yeah, so it should be fun. Any way you look at it, it should be fun. Okay, I'm about finished weeding all of this fun stuff, and then we'll get over to applying it to the shirt. Okay, so I'm back. I have my Easy Press heated to 305 degrees, which is the recommended temperature for just the normal HTV. We're going to do the red shirt first. We're going to get this lined up on here. I always just kind of eyeball it, and, you know, 99% of the time it comes out okay. But, you know, if you want to measure and get real precise with it, be my guest. Alright, so Easy Press onto the design and push that little green button. The Easy Press is actually fairly heavy, which is what you need to help, in addition to the heat, to help adhere the vinyl. You do still want to push down on this a little bit, but not nearly as much as if, say, we were using just the normal iron. That would always takes much longer. It doesn't get hot enough. It doesn't have the surface area that the Easy Press does. And Easy Press just makes it easier. Okay, so we've got, and that's really weird. Yeah, so I've left a weird little impression. I don't know, it might be the shirt. So we've got our design. I'm going to very carefully peel off the carrier sheet. I'm going to grab the eyes, get those centered. What I'm actually going to do is put this carrier sheet back over the top to protect the rest of the vinyl that isn't covered by the carrier sheet for the eyes. I'm going to do this again. And these are just the, what brand is it? Gildan t-shirts from, I believe these actually came from Hobby Lobby. because that's where I was that particular day looking for black HTV, which for some reason is like really scarce lately, at least out here. Okay, so 1 minute. I'm actually just gonna shake the shirt a little bit to help that cool off a bit before we go to pull those carrier sheets off. There's our big one that we're reusing. Small one with our eyes. And then our actual eyeballs that are sliced into the eyes, so we're not getting a whole lot of bulk overall with the shirt. We've only really got two layers because those eyes are sliced into, or the little pupils are sliced into the eyeballs. I'll do this one more time. I don't know, I think this is habit from when I still used to do this with the iron, which was always horrible. I still want to like move it around. And you really don't need to. It doesn't hurt it, but you don't really need to. I think it's just probably more habit than anything. Okay. I'm gonna cool that off again. And always make sure you check with your HTV. Some are hot peel, like the standard stuff is usually hot peel. You get into like the glitter or the holographic, it usually has to be completely cool before you peel that off. And so what we're going to do, just to make sure our design is good and set, we're going to turn this face down and we're just going to kind of go over it one last time from the back side. And there you go. There is our Ninjago shirt. Start to finish, if I was only making one, we're maybe 10 minutes into this. So, you know, it's kind of a fun little project. Quick, easy project for kids. Thanks.